You were a pitcher when you were playing baseball in high school. I'm wondering what similarities you can tell us about working through a set list and working through a lineup.
Very similar. You don't want to show your best stuff, through innings 1 through 3. So you don't want to come out with your best song in the first 20 minutes of a show. You can't just go hardcore the whole show, super loud in their face. I feel like the fan needs a second to kind of breathe and step back. Now, if you're like Paul Skenes, you just throw 103 miles an hour right down everybody's throat and you strike everybody out and you're good. Unfortunately, I don't have that fastball when it comes to music.
Welcome to the MLB Network Podcast presented by the all-star lineup of Chevy trucks. I'm Robert Flores. Today we're joined by award-winning, multi-platinum singer-songwriter Jordan Davis. He's got a tour coming up next month. We're going to get talking about that. But Jordan, first of all, how are you? Good to see you again.
I'm doing great, man. I'm here in New York at the MLB headquarters, so got the tour. It's been an awesome day, man. Got to play some music, so we're mixing baseball and music, so it's been great.
Well, let's start with the baseball because I interviewed you back in 2019. You were telling me that you grew up in Shreveport, Louisiana, and that you grew up going to a lot of Shreveport Captains games. That was an old minor league team back in the day. But tell us more about your introduction to baseball and where the love for the game comes from.
Yeah, I mean, I really think it came from, both of my grandpas. My mom's dad played semi-pro ball for a while and just really taught me how to love baseball. I mean, he was the first guy that I could sit with and watch 9 innings of baseball and not get up from the seat. So I think it started as an early age with him, and then having the Captains there in Shreveport and getting to see a lot of those, future big leaguers come through our little town and getting to go and watch them play at that level was really special. So, and it was just cool to be able to go to the ballpark with my family, on whatever night of the week it was. They were doing dollar hot dogs or bobblehead or whatever, and getting to go there and watch baseball and just hang with the fam. So it was early on that we fell in love with baseball.
You mentioned you grew up in Shreveport. You went to school in Baton Rouge at LSU. I understand you had a chance recently to meet Paul Skenes. You mentioned you were a pretty good ball player, mostly on the mound, but how do you think you would have done against Paul Skenes?
I would have struggled against Skenes. I would have really struggled against him. I would have struggled against a lot of those guys that I went to LSU with. Austin Ross was a buddy of mine that had a really, really great career at LSU. Obviously not as good as Paul's, but I mean, I think he's going to go down as one of the greats. But man, what a great guy, and it's really cool to get to go back to Baton Rouge every once in a while and catch up with all those alumni. And it was great to see him and Livy that night. And unfortunately, that football game didn't go the way we wanted it to go. Alabama got the better of us that night, but it was cool getting to see Paul.
But I tell you what, the baseball team won another national title. Before we got started, I was telling you that my first on-air job was in Monroe, Louisiana, which is not too far from Shreveport. So I'm very familiar with North Louisiana and the athletes that come out of that area. I think per capita, it might be the most talent in the United States, considering the size of the state. How do you explain to people why the baseball is so good at LSU and the following that it enjoys from its fan base?
Well, I mean, I think a lot of it, kind of going back to the 90s, that was such a huge decade for LSU to notch, 5 national championships, and we've added to that. But I really think it's every kid that picks up a baseball in Louisiana dreams of walking onto the field as a LSU Tiger at Alex Box. And I know I had that dream, and every kid that I was playing with had that too. I think it's one of the special things about, it's a pride thing for Louisiana. We love LSU sports. And, whether that be football, soccer, baseball, whatever, if you were born in that state, you're your dream is to put on the purple and gold and play in Baton Rouge. And I really think that is one reason why there's so many athletes that come out of not just North Louisiana, but Louisiana as a whole.
How do you feel about the LSU football team this year?
I'm going to give my same prediction that I give every year: undefeated national champions.
There we go.
I'm okay with it not being. It doesn't have to be undefeated, but I prefer it be the national champion. But no, I really think this year with Nussmeier coming back, we've got the quarterback. I think we've boosted up the defense, and we're always going to have athletes on the offensive side. So it really, I think it's going to come down to Garrett Nussmeier. But the great thing is I think he's up for the challenge, and I think he's the best quarterback in the country. So I really like our shot.
Spoken like a true Bengal Tiger fan.
Hey, right.
Your nationwide Ain't Enough Road Tour kicks off on September 11th. What can fans expect on the tour?
Man, this has been, it's coming off the heels of, we've got a brand new record coming August 15th. It's my first record in 2 years. And the first time we've been able to tour immediately after releasing a record. So for me, it's exciting. It's the most fun show we've ever put together. When I made this record, I wanted to have fun writing, recording, and performing these songs live. And it's the best record I put together, which I think is going to add to it being the best tour we've ever done. I've got some amazing support acts coming out with me: Mitchell Tenpenny, Vincent Mason, and Mackenzie Carpenter. So really, from start to finish, it's going to be a tough to beat show. So I'm excited to get out there playing some amazing venues, playing Radio City right here in New York, Red Rocks in California, or in Colorado, and the Greek out in California, and that's just a couple of them. So it's going to be a fun one.
Hey, I heard you say that this record, that this was the most enjoyable recording experience you've had. How come?
I think with my last album, I kind of covered a lot of personal topics and, wrote a lot of songs and wrote about a lot of things that I never thought I would write about. So when you go to make a new record, you kind of got to look at what you want to do. And with this one, that was it. I wanted to get back to having fun in the studio. And I think a lot of that comes from touring as much as we have. We kind of have the live show in mind when we're making these albums. So I knew that I wanted people to be able to come to a show for an hour and a half and forget about whatever they're thinking about and just enjoy music. And in order for them to do that, I had to have a lot of fun in the studio making this record. And that's what we did. And now it's up to us to take it on the road and put together the best show we can.
More with Jordan Davis on the MLB Network podcast next.
Just like diehard fans of Major League Baseball, Chevy trucks show up no matter what. Because the Chevy lineup of trucks has always stepped up to the plate and helped hardworking people get things done. Visit Chevy.com/trucks to find the truck that can take you from the ballpark to the worksite and back again.
Welcome back to the MLB Network podcast. We're chatting with Jordan Davis, talking country music and baseball. His new album is Learn the Hard Way. It is out now. He's got a tour that kicks off on September 11th. Jordan, you leave LSU and you move to Nashville in 2012. I read that where you said that you were just working a 9-to-5 and you decided, you know what, I'm not sure this is for me. And you decide to give music the full thrust of your attention. Where do you get the guts to do something like that?
I got lucky. I come from a family of musicians. My uncle was a writer and already in Nashville, so I kind of knew that writing songs for a living was an option. I didn't know if it was going to work out for me, but I knew that I at least had a chance to go up and make that happen. My brother was already in Nashville writing songs, which now, we've written a lot of my songs together. But at the time, it was that thing of I didn't want to look back and think, man, what if I think it was the easy thing for me to do, to stay in Baton Rouge and work. And You know, I wanted to graduate from LSU. I got the degree, got the job, but there was something in the back of my mind that was just kind of pulling at me, saying, "Man, you really." I didn't know if I was going to have the regret, you know, if I wouldn't have made the move and gone to Nashville and chased it. So, I'm very glad that. I don't know what it was in me that decided that, but I'm glad that I chased it up to Nashville, and it worked out.
How do you know when a song's a hit? Or do you know?
I know, that's the thing. I'm so bad at, like, I've written songs. I feel like my biggest songs I've written and not thought twice about, you know. It's, you know, I maybe because for so many years I would wake up, you know, write a song Monday through Friday and then wake up the next Monday and do it again and just not even really think about what I wrote the week before. And I think with so much stuff going on, you go in there and you treat it as a job, and you're like, all right, I'm going to write this song, and I'm going to wake up tomorrow and do it again. And so I've been so bad at picking songs. I mean, two of my biggest songs, you know, Buy Dirt that I did with Luke Bryan, you know, I never thought that song would do what it did. And then another one, Next Thing You Know, that when both of those two songs, super blessed to win Song of the Year on both of those. And Next Thing You Know, I almost didn't even turn in. I almost just let it live in my emails forever. So I am not a good, I don't have a good eye for what makes a great song, but I'm very, very lucky to be a part of a few of them.
You've personally written 3 of the year winning songs of the year, and countless other hits. What is the process like for writing a song, and what is maybe the weirdest place you've been inspired by a song that became successful?
Yeah, you know, it's different every. You know, I think sometimes you're reading a book, you're watching TV. You know, when somebody says something and you jot it down on your phone, and you go in and you take that idea into a room and you try to write it. You know, sometimes you're sitting at your house strumming a guitar and something just kind of falls out. But I feel like I've gotten so many of my song ideas from truly just talking to people. You know, I think one of the craziest is a song I haven't even released yet, but I was in a hotel and sitting here trying to kill time at the bar, and I asked the bartender how he was doing, and he told me, I don't know if I'm living longer or waiting to die. And I was like, man, that's really sad. But
that's
I wrote it down on my phone because I was like, that's a great title for a song. So he was a young guy, so I think we're good. I think he's still doing fine. But no, it was, you know, I think it's just talking to people. That's kind of where, just in conversation, I feel like I get so many song ideas.
Ain't Enough Road Tour kicks off September 11th. You obviously are compiling right now the set list and how that's going to go. You were a pitcher when you were playing baseball in high school and as a youngster. I'm wondering what similarities you can tell us about working through a set list and working through a lineup on the mound.
Very, very similar. You know, I think you don't want to show your best stuff, you know, through innings 1 through 3. So you don't want to come out with your best song in the first 20 minutes of a show. You know, you kind of want to have your tent poles. And I think for us, we've been super fortunate to have a lot of success with some songs, and we're able to kind of spread them out throughout the set. But, you know, we try to view it as, you know, you kind of want to you can't just go hardcore the whole show, super loud in their face. I feel like the fan needs a second to kind of breathe and step back. So you got to kind of think about that when you're putting songs together. Now, if you're like Paul Skenes, you just throw 103 miles an hour right down everybody's throat and you strike everybody out and you're good. Unfortunately, I don't have that fastball when it comes to music. So it kind of is a delicate thing to see where, you know, where the flow of the show goes and where each song kind of serves its best.
Time now for Fresh Take, presented by the Farmer's Dog. Now, earlier this summer, you performed in Detroit after a Tigers game, and Tarek's Schoolboy was on the mound that day. Give us your fresh take on watching Skubal pitch in person.
Man, that was the obviously have watched Skubal a ton, but that was the first time getting to see him in person. And you know, how lucky were we to get to play the post game of a game when your Cy Young winner is throwing. You know, I think he started off that game super strong. It looked like, you know, he was going to breeze through them. And I think the coolest thing about that was getting to see Cal Riley against Skubal, and I think he homered off of him. And I think Riley ended up hitting another one. I think he had 2 that game. But, man, it was so cool right before the break. 2 great teams. I think the Tigers at the time, and maybe still do, had the best record in baseball. To get to see him throw and get to see Cal Riley hit, man, it was a fun one to watch. It was tough that the Tigers lost. You know, it's tough to kind of get up for a post-game show whenever, you know, you're up there like hoping that they win and you can go out there and celebrate with them. But, man, that's such a great fan base there in Detroit, and they still showed up, and we had a blast. But it was really fun watching Skubal throw and watching Riley leave the yard. That was fun.
We'll be back with more of the MLB Network podcast after this.
The Farmer's Dog thinks about your dog every day because their goal is to help them live a long, healthy life. Their food is developed by a team of board-certified vet nutritionists. Unlike most pet foods, the Farmer's Dog is made to human-grade standards. It's gently cooked without the ultra-processing and portioned for easy weight management. Because sure, good ingredients matter, but the best recipes call for so much more. Get 50% off your first box of the official pet food of Major League Baseball at thefarmersdog.com/MLB. That's thefarmersdog.com/MLB.
Welcome back to the MLB Network podcast. We're talking country music and baseball with Jordan Davis. Jordan, before we get to the rapid fire, you have a signed bat by Calvin Murray, right?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Got it at the house.
And the reason I bring that up is because he was the guy that was at the plate when Randy Johnson threw the baseball and hit the bird, right, during spring training.
That's it. That's the Shreveport Captain great, Calvin Murray right there, man.
That's it.
You know, it took me so long to realize, you know, obviously in that time I was a massive Mariners fan, huge Ken Griffey guy, and then getting to watch Randy Johnson throw. It was years later that I found out that was Calvin Murray at bat. But man, that was the golden era of the Shreveport Captains. It was Calvin Murray and Chris Singleton out in the outfield. Ooh. So that was what I grew up going to, and I remember being absolutely heartbroken when Chris Singleton got called up to AAA. You know, I didn't know. You know, you're just thinking, like, at the time, I'm like, man, why would anybody want to move from Shreveport, Louisiana, playing from the Captains? Like, this is it.
I mean,
and
it doesn't get any better.
Yeah. Show up Tuesday night, you're expecting Singleton to be in the 4-hole, and the guy in front of us is like, oh, no, man, he got called up to, I think, Arizona the night before, and I was just shattered. But, yeah, that was him and Calvin Murray. They're at the Captains, and right there facing the big unit when he took down the pigeon.
That's unbelievable. Hey, just a couple rapid fire questions. What's the favorite venue you've ever had a chance to play?
Oh, man. We've had a chance to play the Gorge up in Washington, which is an amazing venue, backs up. So that was a pretty special one.
Celebrity encounter that made you starstruck?
Oh, Alicia Keys. Huge Alicia Keys fan. That one got me.
Which do you love more, writing a song or performing it?
Oh, that's a good one. I got to go writing a song. Writing a song is tops.
Is there an athlete or celebrity that you get mistaken for?
Yes. The Philadelphia Eagles defensive tackle, Jordan Davis.
Jordan, I got to tell you, the resemblance is striking.
Yeah, very different. I am not 6'6", 340. Nor do I play the NFL. But it is cool whenever he was going through the combine, I had just released a song, so I was getting tagged in, my 40 time, and he was probably getting tagged in a single release. So we actually were able to link up and kind of talk about that couple months where we were getting kind of tagged in socials for each, or different stuff. So that was pretty funny.
Are you still the reigning Mario Kart champion?
Absolutely, and I will never relinquish that title. I am. That is something we picked up to do to kill time on the road, and I'm gonna hold that belt very dear, very dear.
Go-to vehicle or character that you use?
So I use Yoshi.
Okay.
I can't remember the name of my bike. I could point it out to you, but I can't remember the name of it. But I seldom lose in my camp. They call me the GOAT. So.
Well, and you got the belt to prove it. Nice Saints shorts, by the way, in that photo.
Yeah. Oh yeah, man. I'm a massive Saints fan. That's quite the fit. I'm sure my wife probably took that photo and was like, "Could you at least act like you weren't dressed by our 5-year-old daughter?" So
well, you've got the gaming shorts on. Hey, Jordan, we appreciate the time. The nationwide Ain't Enough Road Tour kicks off September 11th. A reminder: go to JordanDavisOfficial.com for tickets. Jordan, thank you very much for the time. Good luck with the album, and good luck with the tour.
Absolutely, Robert. Thank you so much for having me on, man. Appreciate you, and hope to see you soon.
You got it.